Hey there, it is your friend Chris Luck. I'm the creator of AIville, which is the largest community in the world for people like yourself learning how to use AI. And if you're here because you are wanting to create consistent characters with AI using Higgsfield Soul ID 2.0, I might be your guy to help you out, but I'm not sure because I actually am going to try to work on figuring that out today. So, what I am doing right now on my YouTube channel, if you are new to my YouTube channel and new to my live streams, I go live every day of the week and I just kind of do a work with me session so you can just watch me work as I am figuring out new things and I'm putting new blueprints and that kind of stuff together for my community inside of AIville. So yesterday we were working on building consistent characters with AI, and we discovered that Higgsfield is going to be the best for doing that, and more specifically, Soul ID is going to be the best for consistent characters. Now we want to take it a step further and actually put that to use. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing here today. So what I need to do is just first make sure that my audio is coming in good. I have some different headphones on today because my other headphones, I've got all kinds of different headphones. So I've got these where the batteries died, or not batteries, but it's weird. They don't even have batteries in headphones anymore. It's they lost their charge, so I forgot to charge them. Apparently, you're supposed to put them in the sleeve, and then they will keep their charge, but they didn't. And then I brought these other headphones from home that I really like, but I forgot they are not Bluetooth. You got to have a cable for these ones, so I don't have a cable. So then I grabbed these ones. But the problem with these is they are extremely noise canceling, and I can't hear myself. So let me adjust it real quick. Okay. All right. I think I'm coming in clear. So let me make sure that you can all hear me. Jonathan says good, and looks like we are all good to go. So great. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and just get started. I just finished my lunch, so I've got some energy and took a little restroom break before we started. So I shouldn't have to stop midstream and then take a restroom break like I did yesterday. So without further ado, if we take a look here below my video, you're going to see today's to-do list. We're actually going to talk about why Soul ID 2 is going to be the best for consistent characters. Now, if you missed yesterday's stream, what we did here was we actually had to use, we had this influencer that we created, just call her Eden. That's the name we made up. And when someone wants to create an AI influencer and use this AI influencer for social media, or they want to have it be a spokesperson for a brand or a product, whether it be for UGC content, like user generated content, or anything else, people are kind of used to knowing how they can go to ChatGPT and use ChatGPT Image 2.0 to create their influencer, or they know they can go to Gemini and then use Nano Banana 2 to create their influencer. But the thing is that when you create an influencer, you usually just create the one image, and then most people don't know what to do past that, creating that one image. So the thing is if you want to create a consistent character that you can use in all kinds of different scenes and images, and actually have that character talk and do all kinds of stuff, maybe again be like a spokesperson or a spokeswoman or anything like that, then you need to actually create that character in different settings, in different lighting conditions, have the character with different hairstyles, different makeup, all that kind of stuff. And once you have about 20 images of that character, then we are going to call that like a character pack. Okay, so you have to generate 20 images of what you want this influencer of yours to look like. So if you don't know how to do that, if you watch yesterday's live stream when we were working, you will see what I did because I created all these images yesterday. And to do that, we actually came up with 20 different prompts that I put together and we went through all those live. So that was yesterday. And then now today, because I ran out of time, it took about 2.5 hours for me to figure out how to do this. And after creating 20 different really good shots to qualify to be like a consistent character pack, then we just ran out of time. So now what I'm going to do is pick up on first really understanding like why is Soul ID 2.0 by Higgsfield the best for consistent characters. So what I like to do is I always go to ChatGPT, and here on ChatGPT I use a dictation software. I'm on a Mac, so I use WhisperFlow, but you can use whatever, or you can just type. You don't have to talk, but I like to talk because it's a little more natural for me. So here, I'm going to go and press my button, and I'll say, why is Higgsfield Soul ID the best solution for building a consistent AI character? Okay, and then before I send it off, I make sure that I said the right thing. And then we just wait for a second. And if you've all noticed, I'm actually wearing not black today. So normally I've got a black shirt on. I've got my closet is, I have like three or four shirts with color. The rest are just all black V-necks or all black V-necks or black polos. But today I thought I'd put on some color because it's a really nice day out. But man, I don't like it. Like noticing on camera because it looks like I'm like hunched over my desk, and when I'm wearing black, you don't really notice that. But I don't feel like I have a really bad posture, but I don't know. That's just me seeing myself on camera. So okay, so let's go ahead and read this and find out. Like first off, before we spend today working together, like why go with Higgsfield? So Higgsfield Soul ID is the best overall solution because it does more than a reference a character. It creates a trained, reusable identity. You upload at least 20 clear images, which is exactly, what we did earlier. And then Soul ID will learn the face from multiple angles and expressions and lighting conditions. Then you can select that character whenever you generate new content. And that's going to give you 5 advantages because the character is going to stay recognizable. Her or his or them, eyes, face shape, nose, jawline, overall identity will remain much more stable as you change the pose. You train her once. It works across both images and videos. And you can change almost everything. Different clothes, different locations, different camera angles, different lighting, different content ideas. So at the end of the day, like Soul ID is going to let you turn an AI character into a reusable digital person instead of trying to recreate the same person from scratch every time. And just a full transparency, Higgsfield did not sponsor this video. I'm not being paid to talk about Higgsfield or Soul ID. I spend a lot of time and hours of testing and failing and testing and failing with all kinds of different platforms. And then I have just, by a lot of trial and error for doing this for 4 years, Higgsfield tends to be the best platform to do this kind of stuff when it comes to images and videos because all of the things are all in one platform, which I like when it comes to images and videos. So looks like some of you bounced out for a minute and you're back. So I do just want to let you know I can see all of you in the chat. So thank you all for taking the time to be here. What's up, Susan and Magnus? No, I actually ran out of time this morning. I did not get to have my 6 eggs this morning for breakfast. I had a 42 gram protein shake. However, I did take a picture of my lunch because someone was asking me about my lunch yesterday. If anyone wants to see this, it's 8 ounces of flank steak and these pearl couscous. That was my lunch today. So not a lot of people probably take pictures of their lunch, but hey, I try to answer as many questions as I can. And I saw people are asking, what do I eat? So that's what I eat. What's up, Brant? Thanks for taking the time to be here. Okay, so let's mark off. I have my to-do list below here, below my video right here. Why Soul ID is the best. We now know why that is the best. So next, what we need to do is test the character pack with images. So yesterday, I created, as you all saw, if you were here yesterday, you saw it. If you weren't here yesterday, you didn't see it. But I created 20 images of what this influencer, we decided to name her Eden. And the reason why we picked her was because a couple days ago, I did an AI ASMR challenge to see if I could make like a recreate this AI character that went viral on YouTube of this, woman that was eating glass French fries. So I recreated that image and I showed you how to do that. And then this was the image we recreated. So I said, hey, let's just go ahead and make this an influencer. So I went ahead and just kept running with that. All right. So then that's kind of what we did. So that's where this person came about. I don't really have any plans I'm not going to create a social media profile around her or anything. I'm just doing this to teach and educate people on how to do this kind of stuff. Because if you're not aware, inside of AIville, I'm actually going to be doing a major facelift on the blueprints here to make it much easier for all of you to be able to copy and paste the prompts and all the blueprints. So what you see that I'm doing here live is you're working with me. I am building everything in Notion, and this is just kind of how I keep my notes and keep track of everything. And then I go and then build in the blueprint out, the official blueprint out, where you can copy and paste all the stuff inside of AIville. So you can see the prompts are all in here, and you can be able to copy and paste them here. But I'm working on something that is going to make this much more interactive and much more community driven and much more fun and entertaining for you to use and kind of interact with. So that's all I'm going to say for now. All right, so now that we've got the 20 images, what I did yesterday where we ran out of time was I went to image inside of Higgsfield, and then I went to Higgsfield Soul 2.0. So when you go to, or no, I didn't. Take that back. I didn't do that. I went to image and I went to Soul ID character, because this is where you can create a unique character. Do not click AI influencer if you want to create an AI influencer, because here, I'll show you why. If you try to click on that, it is going to take you to an AI influencer studio, and they try to just give you this cookie cutter, like, do you want an influencer that looks like an octopus or an iguana? It's stupid. Like, their influencer studio is not cool at all, and it doesn't work well. I played around with it, and even if you try to make a human influencer, it looks like a robot. So don't worry about that. What you need to do is go to image and go to Soul ID character, and this is where you click on create character, and you have to upload at least 20 photos of your character. Now, that's why yesterday I had the 20 photos that I created of Eden, and then I uploaded all those photos. Where we ran out of time yesterday was once I did that, it started generating, and it just kept going and going and going, but it never completed. So then I left, and literally it took 2 hours, and then after 2 hours, it failed. So I'm glad I didn't stay on for 4.5 hours waiting for it to finish generating, because it actually ended up failing, and I didn't know what to do. So I reached out to Higgsfield support, and I was like, "Hey, I'm following all the rules of what I'm supposed to do. I'm uploading the right photos. It even scores your photos when you upload them in terms of quality. Like, are they high quality? Did you follow the rules?" I did, and even the prompts that I put together that are going to be in the blueprint inside of AIville, they are all, everything makes the photos perfect. And their answer was, try it again. So I was like, okay. So I should have probably done that before I reached out to them. So I tried it again, and it took about 45 minutes, and then it worked. So I'm going to delete this failed one. I just wanted you all to know that, because when you try to go do something like this, And if it says failed, it's okay. You just need to try it again. So I'm going to delete that character so just the failed one doesn't show up. Now, if you're wondering why do I have two of them in here, is because when you create a character, Higgsfield has a couple different Soul ID options. They have Soul ID 1.0, they have Soul ID 2.0, and they have Soul ID Cinema. Now, I don't know the difference between Soul ID 2.0 and Soul ID Cinema. I have not made anything with these yet. I wanted to do this live because this was my to-do list today, was to test this. So I figured I might as well do this just naturally while I'm here working. So that's what we're going to do. Before we do that, though, I want to ask ChatGPT really quick something. Hang on. So I just made a character inside of Higgsfield with Soul ID, and I made two versions. I made one that is using Soul ID 2.0 and another one using Soul ID Cinema. And I don't know the differences between the two types. Can you just describe very simply the difference between Soul ID 2.0 and Soul ID Cinematic? I said cinema earlier, but I meant to say cinematic. Okay, and let's just see what it says. Yeah, so thanks for saying that, Christopher. You are right. So marketing, not just marketing, but just AI in general, is nothing but a ridiculous amount of endless experiments that can just lead into a lot of dead ends and a lot of trial and error, a lot of burning tokens and a lot of burning credits on these platforms, not trying to figure out, not knowing what you're doing. So a lot of people always ask me, and it's actually really hard for me to answer this question, like, because I live in a small town in Southern Illinois, and like when I, bump into people, places, and I hate the questions like, Chris, what do you do? And I'm like, I just teach people how to use AI, and I just leave it at that. And then they're like, oh, really? Like, what do you teach? I'm like, well, have you ever used AI before? And they're like, yeah, I use ChatGPT. Well, what are you trying to do with ChatGPT? And then they tell me, and they're like, oh, I just, look up the news and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, well, tell me about your job. Like, what do you do for your job? And then they tell me, I'm like, okay, did you know you could use AI to do this, this, and this? And they're like, mind blown. And I'm like, that's what I do. I help people learn how to use AI to do specific tasks very well. And that's kind of every one of the things that I teach are very difficult to figure out. And I think right now, I think we're up to like 3.5 years or 4 years since since I opened the doors to AIville. But because I know some of you have been around AIville since it actually started from the very beginning. But I'm saying that it does take a long time, because when I put together these blueprints, like for instance, I show people, how you can actually get paid to proofread books. And then when I put together like the prompts and everything, this stuff takes me forever to come up with, because I'm actually testing it all like I'm doing right now. But I've never done like work with me sessions showing people exactly kind of what I do behind the scenes. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. All right, so let's see. Soul ID 2.0 is going to be the best for realistic everyday photos. Now, that is what we are going to want for creating like AI influencer stuff. So social media posts, influencer content, selfie. Soul ID is for dramatic movie style images, film stills, dramatic. Okay, I don't really want to do any of that stuff for this use case, because the whole idea is the whole reason I am teaching myself and creating a blueprint around how to create consistent characters using AI is because a lot of people inside of AIville have been asking about it. So I'm creating a blueprint for them for that. But then also following this, I'm going to go really deep and in depth and create blueprints showing you how to create like AI influencers, businesses from scratch. Whether you want to create influencers for yourself, like literally, you could have a like an army of AI influencers on social media, being spokespeople for things. You could use that to build audiences. You could also have that skill where you could. There's people out there that want to pay to have you create an AI influencer for them, for their business. Like there's plumbing companies out there that the plumber or the owner of a plumbing company doesn't want to be on camera, but he wants content out there about his business. So he will go online and find people that can create like an AI influencer that looks like a Bob the plumber, that looks like something people can relate to, and then they create this influencer and then go create a social media profile, and that influencer is pumping out content all day long for Bob the plumber. So that's kind of why I'm creating this kind of content, is to teach people how to do that kind of stuff. So all right, so now we know the difference between Higgsfield Soul 2.0 and Higgsfield Soul ID Cinema. All right, so now we need to test these two different. Well, I'm only going to really play around with Soul 2.0 because that's kind of the main plan. So we want to test the character with images. So what we need to do is we're going to go to image, and there's a framework you need to understand. If you want to, for instance, have an influencer, if you create an influencer like I've done, this Eden character that, this fictional character that we made up, if you want her to be in a video and a spokesperson saying something, you can't just create the character as a Soul ID character inside of Higgsfield and then go right to the video section and create a video. You have to create the still frame. You have to create an image for the first frame of the video. Let me know if that makes sense. So this is a question to all of you that are here right now as we're working together. So for instance, if I want to create a video right now that is using Kling inside of Higgsfield, I can't just come here and put Eden, which, by the way, this is how it works. Like whenever you created a consistent character inside of Higgsfield, you can put the @ sign, and then you can choose, Eden right here. And then there's Eden. So I can't say Eden at Starbucks in front of her MacBook Pro, wearing a Harvard hoodie, saying, "I love that I finally found Chris Luck teaching AI on YouTube." You can't create a video like that, because even though we have made the consistent character already, watch this. It says start frame optional, but I don't believe it's going to let us do this. I'm going to try, but I don't think it's going to let us do this. So, by the way, Kling 3.0 is going to be the best video model as of today, the time of working today with me, which is July 23rd, Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. This is going to be the best video model. Don't be overwhelmed by all these video models that are out there. For instance, like Sora 2 is about, Sora has gone away already, but Sora 2 through the API is going to be gone here shortly. That was the best one to use for all this stuff, but not anymore. And even though it says top, CDance 2.0 4K, don't do that. Kling is going to be the best one for this kind of stuff. But watch, if I just type this in, moving forward, I will let you know, you do not need to have, once you have your character created inside of Higgsfield as a Soul ID character, you do not have to worry about very long, in-depth, super detailed prompts anymore moving forward, trying to explain what the character looks like, what her eye color is, what kind of hair does she have, any of that kind of stuff, because that is already locked as a consistent character now inside of Higgsfield. So now you can just have fun and talk naturally. And this is what makes it real easy to create a lot of just ongoing social media content once you have spent a good hour creating your character and locking the character in. So if I type this in, knowing that you want to always have, let me try to zoom in so you can see this even more. So you always want to have where it has this little magic wand, turn that on. Because what that's going to do is take your prompt and optimize it based off of what Higgsfield knows internally is going to, what needs to be added to that prompt to make it even better than just your basic words. Audio, you can leave that on. We'll talk about audio and that kind of stuff later, like how do you define the voice and all that kind of stuff. That's actually going to be probably for a whole nother day, but we'll just kind of touch on it today. So watch, if I type this in, it should not work. See, even though it says start frame optional, it says start frame is required when the prompt contains element references. Even though we have already created a consistent character, Eden, it's not letting us just make a video. We have to have a start frame. So to do that, the process is step one. If you want to have an AI influencer, step one, you need to create your character, lock your character in, do it inside of Higgsfield, do it with Higgsfield Soul ID character. Make sure you do it under Soul 2.0 because it's going to be the most natural and the most realistic. Once you have done that, that is step one. I actually need to make notes of this. This is going to be all part of the blueprint that I'm going to polish off and put in AI build later. This is just my like shorthand notes. I'll go back and fill it in with like details and screenshots and stuff later. And then step two is going to be to create your starting scene. Create your starting. Is that what Higgsfield actually calls it? Starting scene. If we're going to actually go make a video, starting frame, sorry. And as of right now, Nano Banana 2 is going to give you the most authentic UGC, like AI influencer-esque, realistic looking image. Yes, there are better image models out there like ChatGPT 2 and all that kind of stuff, but I've tested all of them. Nano Banana 2, when it comes to AI influencers, doing consistent characters and all that, always use Nano Banana 2 as of right now, July 23rd, because it is going to be the best. By the way, real quick, the chat's really quiet. Is all this making sense to all of you? Because I'm just working and I'm taking notes, and this is just me in my own head right now. I just want to make sure that this is coming clear to everyone that's paying attention, because if it's not, this is a good time to let me know if something isn't making sense, because then I can clear it up and then I can make it even more clear on the blueprint before I publish it inside of AIville for everybody. So let me know about that, just so I know. Okay, so we are going to, and step 3 is going to be, thank you, Chris. I feel like Chris is the only one in the chat. I guess everyone else is just working. Then we're going to, here, we're just gonna do it one at a time here. So create a starting frame. Okay, so we're gonna go to image, and we're going to go to, here, we're just gonna hit create image. And then down here, we can actually, you know what? I don't want to use, I actually want to try Higgsfield Soul 2.0 for the image instead of Nano Banana. I used Nano Banana in the past, but I'm wondering if Soul 2 will be better. Let's see, what do I want? What do I want Eden to be doing? Have her sitting at her, no, not that. Have her sitting on a comfy couch at Starbucks with her MacBook Pro on her lap wearing a Harvard hoodie. Okay, so I have her sitting on a comfy couch at Starbucks with her MacBook Pro on her lap wearing a Harvard hoodie. I want to test out this Higgsfield Soul 2.0 now that we have our character locked, because the way this will work is normally we would use Nano Banana 2, but since we have created a consistent character inside of Higgsfield, I can click on character now and I can have Soul 2.0. I can choose Eden, and then I'm just going to leave. I like to just leave the aspect ratio to 3:4 for right now, because it just looks like the most kind of natural, and it's easy to see when I have 4 of them up here. We'll leave the resolution 2K for now, and then prompt enhance. I want to generate 4 without enhancing the prompt, and then I want to generate 4 enhancing the prompt, so I know what to put in the blueprint, if you should enhance the prompt or not enhance the prompt. So here, I need to, okay, just making sure I'm not, like, there's nothing, no options being hidden here. Okay, looks like if there's a toggle switch for unlimited, and if I turn it to unlimited, I can generate an unlimited amount of these, but I don't know how many. If I have to generate one and wait, generate another one and wait, I like to just generate actually 4 at a time, so I can just see really quick, is there one that's better than another? Okay, so have her sitting in a comfy couch at Starbucks with her MacBook on. How about with her pink MacBook Pro? They only make really pink MacBook Pros, I don't think. On her lap wearing a Harvard hoodie. And okay, this is the first is going to be with the prompt enhance off. So I'm going to hit generate. Okay, now I'm going to do 4 with the prompt enhance on. Hit generate. And sometimes if you actually use words that are trademarked words like Starbucks, it might flag it and it's not going to let you generate it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And like if you want her to have in like a Chanel bag or something like that, sometimes it'll kind of squeak through and sometimes it doesn't. So now we just got to sit and wait. So let's see here. My mom's here. My mom's paying attention. Glad someone's paying attention. Hey Jen is really good, and thanks for asking this question. Hey Jen is really good, but it's really good for more of a business use case. So if you want like a talking head that is like a professional spokesperson that is going to do explainer videos and things like that, I would absolutely recommend Hey Jen. But for creating more natural AI influencers for social media, then I would recommend what I've been doing the past couple days on my YouTube channel. Okay, so far so clear, makes sense, but I need to try it myself. Yeah, trying it yourself to understand is going to be obviously the best way to go about doing it. Yeah, when I'm all done here, I'm going to go down to my parents' house. I usually go down on Friday, but I'm going to go down today and hang out. So I will quiz you, so pay attention. Looks like Chips gets lost and confused in Higgsfield. Appreciate the pointers. So you're not alone. I just got lost and confused in Higgsfield just a second ago. So you're not alone. Okay, so remember the first set here, I did not enhance the prompt. The second set, I did enhance the prompt. Now, notice a couple things going on here. The hoodie is all screwed up. It doesn't say Harvard. Well, this one does. That is a really good one, actually. This one does not say Harvard. It messed up the words there. That one probably could say Harvard, but her hair is covering it, so not too sure. Definitely doesn't say Harvard. Okay, so I would say for lighting conditions, enhancing the prompt does give it a very professional look. Whereas when I didn't enhance the prompt, it kind of gave me a crappy result. It kind of looked like it was, well, first off, look, the Harvard is not the Harvard's not spelled right. Well, there, it could probably work because it's covered. That didn't work. That didn't work. I'm just looking at Harvard on her shirt. And I specifically said a Harvard hoodie to see if it would actually be able to figure that out without being very specific. And out of all of these, I would say this one is by far the best one. However, enhancing the prompt is definitely going to be the winner here versus not. So let's delete all the ones where we're using Higgsfield Soul 2.0 for these. Okay, so I'm going to actually modify the prompt one more time before I do another test. Because what I'm doing right now is you can see below on my to-do list down here, I am testing the character with creating images, and I'm trying to figure out what is going to be the best image model to use for your consistent character when creating an AI influencer, specifically for Higgsfield. And I need to know that because I'm going to be putting it in the blueprint that I'm creating that is going in AIville for all the members of AIville. So that's kind of that is my process for today. In case anyone's wondering, why am I spending time doing this? That's why. Okay, so I want to have her sitting on a comfy plush pink couch at Starbucks with her, I'm just going to say MacBook Pro on her lap, wearing a Harvard hoodie. Okay. You know what? There's a brand that is so popular right now with my daughters called White Fox. I'm wondering if I put White Fox, if it can actually figure out what the heck that means. I don't think it's going to. So I'm just going to test it out of curiosity. So, all right. So we have that, and I have the prompt enhance turned on. We're going to generate. And then in case it messes up White Fox, I don't want to have to just wait and see and then run it again. I'm just going to go ahead and put Harvard just to see if we can get another one going there. This is, again, just me really testing the image models. And then once we figure this, I'm going to pick my winner. And then I'm going to test a different image model using the Soul ID character. Because this is, again, this is what's cool, is because once you create your character, your AI influencer, and following what I did in my previous Work With Me videos on my YouTube channel, you can, that character is just locked. And then what's cool is that you can actually create, here, let me go while we're waiting. You can create as many characters as you want. So if you want to offer, the last thing on our to-do list today is I'm going to show you how you can make money doing all this. And if you want to make money doing this, you can literally, Higgsfield can be the only tool you need to work with clients, because you can just create characters for all your clients. So if you have a plumber that needs you to make an influencer for them, you can take the time and create the Bob the plumber. Then if you, let's say you have another person that is, I don't know, let's say has a green juice business, and they want like this very like earthy green juice person, you could create, you know, a green juice kind of person. If there's someone that needs a barista because they have like a local coffee shop and they need like an AI influencer, it looks like a barista, then you can have that. And then you just keep all the characters inside your Higgsfield account. And then once you have your library of characters, every time that client of yours wants another social media post of that person saying something or doing something or holding a sign that says something, you don't have to come up with a prompt. You just literally jump in to create an image, and then you just click the character and say holding a sign that says, you know, buy one get one free today only. And then it's pretty crazy. So we'll get into that kind of stuff later. But okay, this is getting really good. And okay, White Fox didn't quite get it because I was wondering if it would actually know the White Fox brand. It got close, but it didn't quite get it. But that's okay. The Harvard, though, I said a pink plush couch. wearing a Harvard hoodie. This is looking really good. But there's one more thing I don't like. It's knowing that this is going to be the first frame of a video that I want to actually test with a video model. I need to have her looking at the camera. So she's looking at the camera with a smile on her face, and that is the first frame of a video I want to have her make, or her to do. So have her sitting on a comfy plush couch at Starbucks with her MacBook Pro on her lap wearing a Harvard hoodie. She is here. Have her smiling and looking at the camera while sitting on a comfy plush couch, comfy plush pink couch at Starbucks with her MacBook Pro on her lap wearing a Harvard hoodie. Okay, just for fun, I'm going to make the quality. Oh, I thought we could go to 4K, but I guess Soul 2.0 is only 2K. That's fine. All right, we're going to generate some more of these. And for all of you that are just watching me work, you get to actually see me just burn through a bunch of credits and see kind of what is possible with Higgsfield. Because one thing I can't stand with what people on YouTube do when they're making like different tutorials and stuff about this, they never show you what went wrong. And they're never showing you the trial and error, and their videos go so fast, and they do that intentionally because they want you to go back and rewatch and add them to a watch list and replay and everything, so they build up more watch time for the videos. So I don't like that. But okay, something terrible happened here, man. That's disappointing. So I have these glasses, like these like really nice rocks glasses, but I like to drink water out of them because I like the way they feel. Well, I also like to put like mixed nuts in them, and then just so I don't have like my hands got mixed nut stuff on my hands while I'm like working. Well, I forgot to wash this glass and I put water in it, and it is a mix of water and mixed nut crumbs. So I cannot drink water during this live stream. That sucks. And I don't have another water here in my office right now. So, okay. Oh, well. All right. So we got a good one here. I mean, these are all good, but I am going to just have to pick. I mean, they're all so good. I don't know which one to pick. So I'm just going to I'm gonna pick this one. This one on the right because I like all the little picture frames in the background. Okay. So this was generated with our consistent character that we created yesterday. I didn't have to describe her. I didn't have to describe anything about her because we spent time creating her and locking her in as a character in Higgsfield Soul ID. Super cool. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is copy this prompt, and actually, I'm going to take notes on this because I need to have my notes on this in case this is the one we're going to go with. Okay, so my notes are going to be use Soul 2.0, 2K resolution, prompt enhance on, batch size 4 out of 4. These are just my notes. If we are using, here, let's even just do this. If using Soul 2.0, it's my little cheat sheet to be able to describe the frame actually So you describe the image naturally, because not every time are you going to be wanting to make a video. It might just sometimes just be an image, because this is, again, just influencer kind of stuff. So, okay, that's Soul 2.0. Now I want to experiment with another model here. So I want to experiment with Nano Banana 2. Okay, so Nano Banana 2, notice here, we do not have the ability to choose our consistent character. So if you want to use this character you spent all this time creating angles of and then building and locking in as a Soul ID inside of Higgsfield, there's no way to do it just by looking at it. So let's see if we can figure this out. What if I do the @ sign? Oh, look at that. Maybe you can. I can choose Eden and then say, have her smiling, look at the camera. All right, so we are going to see if we don't have to use Soul 2.0, and if we can use another image model and just have a little shortcut by putting the @ symbol, and then it popped up the ability to choose our character. And with Nano Banana, we could actually make a much higher resolution if we wanted to. We could do unlimited images, but it's only going to let us do one at a time. I rather do 4 because I just want to, you see, like I want you to also see all of the options that all the different variations it can have, so I can show you what can go wrong with doing this kind of stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and do 2K, because that was what the resolution of the last one was. And we're going to see, this might not work. This might be a complete fail. And if it is, then that is not going to be going on my Notion document, which, did I just close my Notion document out? Oh, no, I put on another tab. Sorry, when I get a lot of tabs going, I start losing my mind. So I always clean things up whenever I'm waiting for stuff. Okay. While we're waiting, I'm also building a new playlist. So this is all like lo-fi music somebody I know makes that says I can use this stuff on my YouTube channel as long as I shout him out. So his name is Crazy Monkey on Spotify. So I'm taking, he has like 500 songs, and I'm taking the ones that I know. He takes classical music by obviously like classical artists or whatever they called them back then, not artists, but and then he makes a lo-fi version of them. So I'm taking songs that I actually know, like classical music I know, that he made a lo-fi version of, and then I'm putting it into a new playlist called Workin', and then that'll be like music I just randomly work to. So right now I'm up to 1 hour and 53 minutes of Workin'. So now I'm also up to, like, on his playlist, I'm up to looking at around like song 198. So I just, so what I'm listening for, is it slow? Is it too slow? If it is, I'm not putting it on my playlist because it'll put me asleep. And is it sad? I'm not going to put it on my playlist if it's sad. And I gotta just kind of, I go off my vibe, like whatever vibe I'm in. I like that one. That goes on there. That's cool. I like that one too. All right. Sorry. Here we go. So Nano Banana 2 worked. That was like a cheat code if I've ever seen one, because Higgsfield intentionally tried to hide the ability for you to use the character, like the Soul ID that you created, because they probably want you to use their internal Soul 2.0 image model, because it's going to cost them less tokens to produce the images for you than other models. But knowing that we can use the character on any image model opens up the world for us, because every image model is going to have a very, very different look and feel. So for instance, I'll pick the best one for different image models, and we'll just kind of see why we're here live. Okay, that one, no. Okay, I like that one the most. So Soul 2.0 did not, if you remembered, Soul 2.0 sucked at trying to figure out what a Harvard hoodie looked like. That's because Soul 2.0 is probably a very lazy, not very smart image model in terms of being able to research what you're telling it to do. It's just making stuff up. However, whenever we ran Nano Banana 2 with the exact same thing, saying wearing a Harvard hoodie, it knew exactly what a Harvard hoodie looks like. And it actually nailed the color. It even got the crest, the Harvard crest, and everything. So, and the Starbucks cup looks like an exact Starbucks cup. It looks like an exact Starbucks location. Way better looking than this. This looks like a Harvard hoodie you bought from out of someone's, trunk that was trying to sell it in an alley for $5, where, this one looks like a Starbucks at Harvard. Okay, so that was Nano Banana 2. Now let's test another image model. Let's test GPT Image 2, which is always, people are always putting, like, if you go look at all of the different benchmark tests and everything, GPT Image 2 usually goes like neck and neck with Nano Banana 2. So we're going to go ahead and bump up the visuals to high just for fun on this one. We'll keep the quality still at 2K. We're going to make it, what were we doing for all of these? 2x3, 2x3, and then we'll generate 4. Okay, so now we're waiting. Now, ChatGPT, when you start using trademark things like Harvard, Starbucks, ChatGPT Image 2 will be the first to flag and say, can't generate it. It's against our guidelines. Where Nano Banana 2 is a little more relaxed and letting you know. Okay, so while it's generating, I'm going to continue working on my playlist here. That's a slow song, but I do like that song though. I don't want to listen to Sugar Plum Fairy in July. Way too slow. Man, these are also, he needs to speed this stuff up. Mozart seems like it should be pretty fast. I do like the different stuff going on that one. We'll add that one. Can you all let me know in the chat, are you enjoying working with me today on a 1 to 10 scale? 1 being, well, if it's under a 5, then you probably already left by now. But if you're enjoying it and you are hanging out here, let me know, because I do appreciate it. It's like we have 2 generations. I'm waiting for 2 more, and then we'll go take a look. Oh, by the way, my favorite, in case you ever have this question on a trivia night, what is Chris Luck's absolute favorite #1 classical music song? If that's a question, Moonlight Sonata. That is my favorite all-time classical song, Moonlight Sonata. So, okay. Here we are with GPT-2. So we're going to take a look here at, these are good. I feel like Nano Banana killed it a little more. I don't like the angle on these, but I'd say this one would probably be the best one. That one. Okay, so we're going to delete those. We will test one more image model, and a lot of people have been talking about Seedream. Well, they've been talking about Seedream 5.0 a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose that one. And we're going to see how Seedream 5.0 Pro handles against Soul 2.0, Nano Banana 2, and ChatGPT Image 2. So we're going to generate 4 of those. And that will complete our testing the character with images. And then I'm going to put it on my notes down as far as what to do. And then for the blueprint for members of AIville. And then we are going to move to the next item on the list, which is going to be creating videos. And thank you for all the ratings. Thank you, Jason. I'm glad you're showing up for day 2 of 2 for you finding me on YouTube working live. And Wendy says, my kind of music. I'll share the playlist with everyone once I got it all together. All good, Darlene. Thanks for being here, though. Oh, those came through quick. All right, here we are with Seedream 5.0 Pro. It failed on the Harvard hoodie. The first thing I'm looking at is like, did it get the Harvard hoodie? And it didn't. It just kind of made it up. Where that one right there, ChatGPT Image 2.0, killed it with the realism of the Harvard hoodie. And Nano Banana 2 killed it with the realism of the Harvard hoodie. So we're going to go ahead and delete all of Seedream's because I did not like any of theirs at all. So it really comes down head to head with ChatGPT Image 2 and Nano Banana 2, specifically for creating images using your consistent character inside of Higgsfield. So I'm going to delete the Higgsfield Soul 2.0 one because it failed on that too. Sorry, Higgsfield. I probably wouldn't have said that if I was sponsored, but I'm not. So can't say it, or I can say it. And I want to see something. Since we're neck and neck with GPT and Nano Banana, I want to do one more run, and I just want to max out the settings to 4K instead of 2K, because we're going to be using this image as the first image, as the first frame for the videos anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit generate. And we're going to go to Nano Banana. Oh, you know what? We didn't do Nano Banana Pro. We did Nano Banana 2, but not Nano Banana. So I need to do Nano Banana Pro as well. But I have heard, though, Nano Banana 2 is actually always outperforming Nano Banana Pro when you are using influencer, like when you're generating realistic images of people. So I'm just going to have to burn through some more credits here and do Nano Banana Pro as well. And we're going to keep it 2x3 like everything else. We will make it 4K as well. And generate 4 of those. So we have a lot of generations coming. This is the grand finale for what was on my to-do list below my video down here, which was to test the character with images. Thank you, Susan. All right, so I'm at the very top. So as soon as these top 4 are done being generated, they should have all been done being generated. So I'll come back to it whenever we're caught up there. I also do like all songs that are nocturne. So I'm gonna put nocturne on there. Sorry, by the way, if you're watching this and you don't like this music, Oh, that's pretty good. I almost added that to my Jeepin' playlist. Can't do that. Tetris. Oh, that'd drive me crazy. Another Nocturne. We've got one more being generated, and we're going to get back to taking a look. That sounds fun. Sounds like a great song while you're waiting for something to finish being created. You know what? While I'm waiting... Oh, never mind. We're done. Add to my... Oh, shoot. Oh, lost my spot. We were at number 200 and something, too. Here we are. Okay, we're at 230. All right, so back at it. This is a legit Harvard hoodie that I've seen. It just doesn't have the crest on it. And which one was this? This was Nano Banana Pro. Okay, so Nano Banana Pro, not bad. These were all 4K versions, by the way. And this next set is all Nano Banana 2, which got the Harvard hoodie that I liked with the crest. And then this was ChatGPT 2 given kind of the side eye. I'm just not liking the side eye. She just doesn't look very excited. Looks like she was interrupted. So I'm just going to, sorry, I'm going to delete ChatGPT 2. I'm honestly thinking, man, I'm trying to think about what's going to be my first frame for the video that we're going to be doing here. I'm just deleting ones that I know I don't want, and I'll go back and figure out. Was this ChatGPT? Yeah, because that was that side eye look. But man, I do like the detail on that though. Think I'm gonna go with ChatGPT 2 on this one just because I'm curious how it's gonna be, how this is going to turn into a video because she's not facing straight on. So I'm gonna save one of these as a backup in case it fails. So we'll save here. Honestly, I liked the 2K versions better than the 4K versions. So this was, we're down to these two. So this is ChatGPT and that's Nano Banana. I mean, they're very close. And I really don't know which one to go with. Just one, they're really just down to, I don't know. I'll probably go, you know what? I'm going to go with this one for trying to do a video. And the reason why is because there's people in the background and I like the shallow depth of field, the shallow, whatever you call it, field of depth or depth of field. I don't know. But the little bit of the blurring effect in the background. And I want to, when we create the video, I want to add in basically asking it to put in sound effects, background sound effects. And I'm curious if you're going to see people in the background moving around and doing stuff. Whereas this other one, you wouldn't have that. It just looks like she's rented out Starbucks and she's by herself and doing a photo shoot. Where this one looks like it's kind of right there. So that's why I'm going to pick this one for what we're going to test for the next one. Okay, so I'm going to just name this Starbucks. I'm going to try something. I wonder if I can also, while I'm here, if I can upscale this image. Usually you can upscale it. You used to be able to. It doesn't look like you can anymore. Oh, there it is. You can click on tools and I could relight it. I can play around with angles, or I could upscale it. So I'm wondering if I upscale it. Let's say right now it's 1792 by 2400. If I do 3584, what that would do. So I'm going to upscale it. This is not going to go on my notes for the blueprint. I want to open up the image side by side to see, does an upscaled version, is it worth upscaling the starting frame for a video, or save the credits and don't upscale? So we'll find out. So while we're waiting for that, I need to take my notes and say, if using another model, start with at did I spell character right? Yeah, start with at character, and then just describe the scene naturally, and then notice there was no button to enhance the prompt for like Nano Banana 2 or any other image model. You cannot enhance the prompt, which is fine. But I'm just saying that because I don't need to put it on there. Set the aspect ratio, generate at 2K first for, yep. Okay, so those are my notes that are going to go into the blueprint when it's all polished inside of AIville. Okay, so this is the upscaled version. Let me double check just to make sure. Yep, that's the upscaled version. So we're going to download that. So yeah, Joseph says, or Jose, I'm sorry, says prefer to upscale directly in Topaz. I don't even have Topaz or use Topaz. I just wanted to do it directly in Higgsfield because it was there, and I'm just going to test it side by side to see. So on my screen, but thanks for mentioning that though. Okay, so that is the upscaled version worth it? Just looking. I don't think it is. I don't think it's worth it. Like, I don't think it's necessary, I guess you could say, for what we're using it for. So I will say not necessary, but it's optional. Okay, so we are going to delete the upscaled version. All right, so real quick, can you all let me know, how are you enjoying? Let me know in a couple words, or a word or a sentence. Let me know in the chat, for those of you that are here live, how are you liking this work with me session? Because this is my third one, I think, and I have been wanting to do these for a long time. I have been terrified to do them because they are very transparent. You're seeing where I'm screwing up. You're seeing my way of working, and it's not usually the best way of working. It's a very long way of working, and I'm always talking to myself in my head as I'm working. So this actually is very therapeutic for me because I can talk out loud and talk through things, and I can like look at the chat and check to see like, are you understanding it? And it's kind of cool. It feels like we're co-working together. So I wish I would have started this years ago. But I'm just wondering, is this helpful to people that are watching? And I will get better at it, I promise. And what I'm doing, just for those of you that are getting in late or you're watching the replay or you're kind of like scrubbing through and wondering what I'm up to. So I am always, like every day, I am always staying on top of what is working, not just what's working with AI, but like what is the absolute latest stuff going on with AI? Like what's the latest models? What are people doing with AI? I'm One thing that I have not got into yet is coding. So I haven't got into like web design, web development. I haven't built agents. I haven't done any of that stuff. So I'm really behind on that world of AI. Reason being is because most of my community inside of AIville, they are freelancers that are actually using AI to provide services to people, like creating influencers, doing logo design, creating book covers, writing books, like being ghostwriters, all that kind of stuff. So I'm always trying to just stay up with the latest tools and trends to create blueprints and like guides for my existing customers and members inside of AIville. And then as there is more demand for other things, then I will create blueprints for those. So that's kind of what I'm up to. And that's what I'm always doing. And that is what is deciding what I'm learning and why I'm learning it. And then the way the blueprints are inside of AIville for all of the members that are here now, just kind of watching me work, I would say give me about 2 weeks and they're going to be much more interactive. So right now you click on a blueprint. Like if you want the blueprint for retouching photos, you're going to basically see a breakdown of like a woman that's making like 18 grand retouching photos. And we talk about her. And then I give you the prompts and then like exactly how to like, if you want to retouch a photo, here's how to be a skin surgeon, here's how to hijack a studio, here's how to do age rewind, all kinds of things. And so before I provide these prompts to everybody, and before I publish this blueprint inside of AIville, I spend days, sometimes a week or two, just fine tuning everything and figuring it out myself before I publish it. So that's what I'm doing. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And yeah, I figure I just will show you all what I'm up to behind the scenes. So let me take a look here in the chat before we jump into. Oh, by the way, we have completed the next item on the to-do list, which was to test the character with images. So now we're going to be moving on to testing the character, which is Eden here from Harvard, testing the character with videos. All right, so let's see here. Can I automate using N8N? I'm not sure. I don't use N8N, so that goes back to the things that I know and the things that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If I don't know, I'll let you know that I don't know. This is great. I like them. You're doing great and giving up a lot of information. I love it. I'm glad you see it as like, hopefully the information's good information. Like pretty much what I'm giving up or what I'm showing you is just me figuring things out. So do you have someone in the background helping you with answering some of the chat questions? I do not. I'm taking a break right now from working and I'm looking at the chat. So I do not. I'm a one-man show when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I'm doing all this on my own. Yep, the blueprint. That's the thing. When people see the blueprint, it's going to be so simple and just so like, oh, that's all you got to do. But they don't realize it took me like a week to figure it all out. Thank you very much, Magnus. Absolutely, Jason. I agree. That's why I'm trying to do this for other people. Yeah, the time and money savings for all of this for clients are or it's out like just outlandish how much money you can save for other people. I'm glad that you all are seeing that it's eye opening and it's helpful. So thank you. And thank you, John, by saying that to access such inside and private info. Because you know what? Like they're here, I'll show you real quick before we move on to the videos. Check this out. If I go to YouTube, most people, like, look at this. This guy right here, I'm going to mute. So this guy, he is live right now. And here. Oh, hang on. My YouTube's all freezing up on me because I tried to go too big of a full screen. I don't want to go full screen. Shoot, what's going on? YouTube? I don't want the chat. Yeah, here we go. So this guy is live right now. He has 3,144 people watching him. He does not interact with his chat. You cannot see what he's doing. You just see him drink water, look out his window, and work or study. But this blows my mind because this stuff is like, this is what the whole study with me, work with me stuff is. Like you can go to YouTube and just type in study with me, and then you'll find people like this guy, right? You know, this guy had 2 months ago went live, 1.2 million views. He went live for an hour and 30 minutes. You have no idea what he's doing. I mean, no idea. He could just be watching like Pokemon cartoons. It's insane. So anyway, I'm doing things a little bit differently because I have to talk as I'm working. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So, all right. Angel's Lifestyle. It's been fun. I saw you at Perry's event in San Diego. Yeah, in San Diego. First time you talked. You're a great educator. Thank you. I'm doing my best. I am who I am, but I'm definitely not like in anybody else. I don't think. Okay, so we are going to now test the character with videos. Okay, so I have my notes for my blueprint that I'm building to do consistent characters for AIville. We've decided the best AI model. We've decided the step-by-step process. I put together yesterday 20 prompts for people to copy and paste to create their consistent character. And then now the step-by-step process was actually, no, this needs to be here. I usually do this stuff later, like reorganize. I will spend an entire day reorganizing the way this blueprint will be before I actually publish it. And I got to design the cover art and all that kind of stuff for it too, which I love to do. I don't have anyone else. All the stuff inside of AIville, like all the cover designs, all the content, everything is I do all of that. The only thing that I don't do is I have a full-time development team that is always staying on top of the tools. So just so you all know, most people don't realize this, but when you come into AIville, if you go to ChatGPT and click on the models, you have access to the absolute latest versions of ChatGPT inside of AIville. And you don't have to go pay $200 a month for ChatGPT Pro. If you want to use Claude and use the latest version of Claude, you have access to Claude Fable 5 inside of AIville. I'm really bad at explaining that to people, but that's one thing I don't do is I don't code up the tools. I have a team for that. And same with characters. I have a team that actually coded up all the characters. But I do all the designs. I come up with the ideas and all that. And then now what I'm doing is just focusing on the blueprints. So, okay. So we are using our consistent character for images. So you create your Soul ID character. Actually, no, here's what we're going to do. I'm just trying to make this blueprint easy as possible to understand. And I'll have a video that like supplements this. Okay, so we now need to find out the best way and the most optimal way to turn her into a video. And all good, Edward. Thanks for taking the time to be here, and thanks for letting me know that you're popping off. I appreciate it. Okay, so the easiest way to turn her into a video is, well, first let's delete the 4K version because I actually like the 2K version better inside of Higgsfield. We could actually click on her or move our mouse over her, and then there's a button called animate that will take this image and immediately put it into the video production inside of Higgsfield. You can also click on the image, and there's going to be a button that says turn to video. That's going to be probably the easiest way to describe it. This is me thinking out loud. So if I hit turn to video, it takes you right to the image model, or takes you right to the video model, and drops that image in as the first frame. So if you didn't do that, what you would have to do is you'd have to go to video. You got to figure out what the hell to choose here on the video model. And you're like, CDance 2.0 4K, it says top, but also Kling says top. Which one do you go with? Not CDance 2.0, I'll tell you that. You go with Kling. So you'd normally have to click on Kling, and then it's like, oh crap, starting frame. I don't have a starting frame. Well, you got to click on it. Then you got to go find, it's like, well, hell, where was that image that I downloaded? So then you're trying to go through all your folders, and like, I think I saved it to my desktop, and it's like, oh, I did save it to my desktop. Here it is. And it's like, there's a starting image there on Kling 3.0 inside of Higgsfield. However, that's a long way of doing it. The good thing that I love about Higgsfield is that you can just click on image up here on the very top, and it keeps track of everything you've ever created in Higgsfield. Now you can go and put things in folders and all kinds of stuff if you have clients that you're trying to service and all that. You don't have to have just one massive scrolling page of everything. You can organize it in however you want. But for here, I can move my mouse over her, just click on it, and click turn to video. That's the way I want to describe it. So I'm going to say easy way. I'm going to put down in the blueprint, there's the easy way and the hard way. I don't like using the word click. You might notice that, and if you ever get a text message from me or an email from me, I always say tap. I never say click. Tap on the turn to video button. It takes you here. And then from here, it's already pre-filled as a starting frame. And then we now have to describe the video on the left-hand side here. So we need to okay. So I'm just basically saying when you come to here to describe your video, even though we uploaded her as the starting frame, we need to put the @ sign, and then we need to choose Eden. So it knows that's the consistent character that it cannot screw up. And even though it's a starting frame, you always want to do that. So then that way, all the videos you ever make is always going to have her. If she's like walking through a scene, or if you want to start doing things a little more crazy and cinematic or multi-shots and stuff like that, that's why you always want to make sure you have your consistent character. So, okay, so we are going to, what do we want? What do we want this video to be? Now, let's see. Have her say, do I want to say have her say, or do I want to say, I'll say have her say. So glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI. Okay. Okay, so let's say if I just say this and not describe anything else, I just want to, this is just out of my own curiosity. Like, what would happen? And I'm going to do two of them here. I'm going to do, we don't need six. Well, I don't know how long. Let's see. How long would this take to say? Where's the timer? I don't even have a timer. I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. I'll say 10 seconds. Who cares? And then we'll just say 1080p because I'm just winging this one. I don't know why I can choose unlimited mode, but why not? Okay, so I'm going to just try this with the prompt optimizer on, generate. And then I'm going to turn the prompt optimizer off, generate. Oh, I can only generate. I was like, why is it giving me this unlimited option? But you can only do one at a time. Oh, well. I will just pay 20 credits and just generate another one because I don't want to have to wait. Okay, so the first one that is going to generate will be prompt optimized on. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what is she going to sound like? And if we make a bunch of different videos, is she going to sound different in all the videos? The answer is yes, she is, because the next stage of creating a consistent character is you have to create her voice. So I'm going to have a whole nother day of teaching that or putting that together also for the blueprint. I just don't have enough time right now to do it, but I'll show you the beginning stages of where that is. You don't have to actually create a voice from scratch if you don't want. You can use a built-in voice, which they have a lot of them. But if you don't want a built-in voice and you want to create a voice from scratch, there's a really cool way to go about doing it. And I will show you a sneaky way that I did it that I probably shouldn't show anybody, but I'll show the small amount of you that are kind of hanging out watching. So while we're waiting the video to generate, I know when this top one is done generating, the bottom one would have been done. So I need to keep building my playlist here. So let's see. Have I done a character of myself? I have not done a character of myself. Great question, by the way. The reason I have not done a character of myself, and this is so an interesting question, because even though I have built AIville, and even though my entire life is all things AI, all I think about is AI, all I learn about is all things AI, all I teach is AI, all I do to help people with is with AI. I will never, ever clone myself with AI. And the reason for that is because I see everybody doing it. All the speakers out there, like the podium speakers, the keynote speakers, they all have clones of themselves out there. You have the quote unquote gurus and the experts and the people selling courses and all that kind of stuff. They're all cloning themselves. That's why you're seeing them on social media. You're seeing new videos pop up like every 3 hours of them saying stuff. It's because it's all their clones. I won't do that because I like the genuineness of who I am, and I like the authenticity of what I do, and I like the craftsmanship and just the artist, just being an artisan at this kind of stuff. And that's why you will never see me do short form content. If you ever see short form content out there of me, I did not create that. Somebody else did. So everything I do is very like this, like just recording myself in my office at my desk, working for hours on end. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I like to do. And when you saw me like speak on stage for the first time in San Diego, it was terrifying. And I mean, I cried on stage because I was so emotionally like moved at how much the audience, loved what I did, because I was not like anybody else. I did not have a slide deck. I didn't have all this fancy, showmanship on stage and anything. I just shared my computer screen and just showed you some stuff. And it's like, this is what I do. So no, long answer to a simple question is I have not cloned myself, and I don't ever want to. So sorry about that. Sorry. I keep looking at my screen because I see the little generating that video is still generating. So I figure I might as well chat instead of yeah, I like that. Michelangelo definitely wouldn't have cloned himself either. Okay, so let's build some more of this playlist. I really needed this. I'm so close to drinking this water with all the mixed nut junk in it because I'm thirsty. And I got a fan on my face too because I have a big ass light in front of me and my lips are chapped. So, okay. From all that yapping that I did, one video got generated. The other one is not. So we got to wait for the other video to finish generating. So while we are waiting for that, I'm going to keep working on my playlist. I like that one. Good question. No, that's not an app I created. This is actually Spotify. So this is a playlist I created on Spotify. I just called it Lo-Fi. And then I added a buddy of mine that it makes lo-fi music. I just added all of his stuff to a lo-fi playlist. But there's a lot of stuff that he created that I don't like. So what I'm doing is I'm going through all of his songs one by one and just scrubbing through them. And I'm hand picking the ones I really like, and I'm adding it to my working playlist. And this is, you'll hear me play this like as background music on future Work With Me videos, because he said it's okay if I play this stuff on YouTube. I'm not going to get like dinged or with copyright infringement or anything like that. So yeah, good question. Yeah, it's not MIDI music. It's lo-fi music. It's a totally different style of music. But yeah, I see what you're saying though. Oh, that's a good one. Oh crap, I lost my place again. Man, I'm so close to. Oh, I like that one too. Okay, we're to 240. Okay, so we've got the first one here, which I'm going to download. The first one was the prompt enhanced. So I'm going to type enhance. And the second one was the prompt not enhanced. So I'm going to download this one too. Not enhanced. Okay. So now what we are going to do is awesome. Got it. It's helpful. I'm loving it. I think because my impatience, I like replays sped up. The replay gets through content faster. Yeah, I mean, I get it. This is definitely not for everybody, but I mean, I'm just working, so. Okay, so this is enhanced. This is going to be not enhanced. And I'm going to just try to get them side by side. And you all can tell me which one is better. Okay. You ready? I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to crank up my system audio, and we're going to listen. This may be a total fail, by the way. I act like I'm building up for something that might not work at all. So hang on.
I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI. I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI.
Okay. My response to that was, oh my God, because the only prompt that I put in for that was, I didn't even say it right. I said have say. I didn't even say have her say. I just said have say, I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI. First off, I'm gonna just do a shout out to Higgsfield and say hell of a job, or Kling 3.0 or whatever. Now, I am going to say turning off the enhancement for this was the winner to me, because it sounded more natural, and I feel like the enhancement was a little too much. It was like over AI'd. So what we're going to do, that was just phase 1 on testing. I've got a couple more tests I need to do with this. So we are going to say not enhanced is the winner. So I'm just going to call this V1. So version 1. And just so you know, I'm keeping these. You can't see them because they're under my video here, but they're on my desktop. I'm just kind of keeping the files straight. So there is not 3 different options for enhancing. There is literally just on or off. So unless you know something I don't, but when I click on, it just says off. When I click on off, it just says on. And yeah, it's number 2. Number 2 was the not enhanced one, and that was definitely the winner. Okay, so now what we're going to do is crank it up a bit. We're going to say, how about have her say? But check this out. Before we crank it up a bit, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to drop the still image for the first frame into ChatGPT, and I'm going to say this right here. Hang on. What am I going to say? I don't know what I'm going to say. I need to copy and paste this in chat, or else I'm going to forget. Okay. Hang on. Okay. I am using Kling 3.0 to take this starting frame of my AI influencer, Eden, and I'm going to have her naturally say, I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI. What I need from you is to give me some ideas of what kind of prompt I can give to Kling 3.0, knowing that I'm using her as a consistent character with Soul ID, to have this be as real and authentic as possible and not sound or look robotic. This is stuff I have to figure out, because I have to figure this stuff out, and then I'm going to just put everything in the blueprint for all the members of AIville so they just know what to do. So I have to fix this. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I did notice that too. I forgot to say that. Yeah, on the second version where I didn't enhance the prompt, you could see the people moving in the background. Okay, so we need to keep her movements subtle and make the dialogue sound something like she just thought of, not something she memorized. So the best, okay, so Sits naturally in a coffee shop, relaxed at the laptop, resting on her lap. She looks into the camera with a warm, genuine smile and says, conversationally, I'm so glad I found. Okay, naturally blinking, subtle head movement, small facial. I feel like this is pretty extreme. Keep the camera still, UGC video, preserver, exact, soul ID appearance, clothing, setting back. Okay. Glances at her laptop, then looks back at the camera and smiles and relaxed. I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches everything I know about AI. Testimonial version. Speaks directly at the camera like she's casually recommending someone to a friend. Okay. The first choice is the more casual version. Okay, I'm just curious if I take a prompt like this, how is that going to perform against me just saying, have her say this? So we're going to find out. Because I feel like this is going to be too much. And notice it starts off with the character and then does that. And then if this works, then what I'm going to have to do is if this works, I'm going to have to then come up with a prompt template to include in my consistent character blueprint to give to all the members of AIville to say, hey, if you want to create here is a template you can copy and paste to use to create your UGC AI influencer video. But this may be overkill. I'm not going to do that if this makes a video that just looks stupid. If it looks stupid, then I'm just going to say in very simple terms, very natural language, explain what you want to happen. You don't have to explain eye movement and natural blinking because AI should just know that. I have not tested Turbo 3.0 instead, but I am. I'm just trying to figure out like the stage I'm at, and my thought process is I just want to figure out the prompting first. And once I figure out the prompting, then the best way to prompt this, then I'm going to move down and then obviously test out Kling 3.0 versus Kling 3.0 Turbo. But I will tell you, Kling 3.0 is probably going to be better because Turbo is just going to produce it faster, is really all it is. And motion control is more for cinematic things, not this. But I'll test all three. But I need to figure out the best prompt structure so I can put that in my blueprint and then move on and figure out the best model to use, put that in my blueprint, and then that'll wrap up testing it with videos, and then I can give my best fully tested recommendation. Okay, so back to listen to some music. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Again, I am very thirsty. I don't have water in here, but I do have something else, I think. So I'm going to keep playing some music while I go get something else. Hang on. Yeah, I see. Jose says Higgsfield is a credit predator. It is a credit predator, and that is why people inside of AIville love my blueprints, because I burn through all the credits and figure out what is the best model for what use case. And then that way, no one else has to burn their credits trying models, running different prompts, trying different, like should you turn prompt enhance on or turn it off. I spend thousands of dollars a month testing Higgsfield before, like, well, I spend thousands of dollars a month on Higgsfield credits so I can provide blueprints to members inside of AIville, giving them the best recommendation always. So, and I always have to, when there's new models that come out, I'm always testing them and then putting them in there. Okay. A lot of the rest of the stuff on this lo-fi playlist that I had, it's a mix of other people that are not my friends, so I don't have their permission. I can play some circus music. Oh, that's pretty cool. God, I feel like I need to get out my Nintendo now. All right, looks like I got my working playlist put together. So I'm gonna actually delete this lo-fi playlist. I went through 303 songs to get down to 58. So now this is the playlist I can just shuffle whenever we're just waiting for things to generate, and I can chat with all of you. I like it how I can like put on this mini player too. So I could minimize that. How cool is that? It's pretty neat. And we got some art to look at. Yeah, I think everyone in the world, like, well, not everyone, but I forgot about Castlevania. I want to go back and play some of those. Jason, how's your back doing? How do I minimize this thing? There we go. Nope, this one is Hall of the Mountain King. Okay. I am now going to test version 1. So this was my prompt with me screwing up saying have say, not even have her say. And then this second one is going to be having ChatGPT make a prompt it thinks that Kling would be really good at. And we're going to see just which one is better here. So you be the judge. You can tell me left or right. Okay, I'll play each one twice.
I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI. I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI. I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI. I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI.
I know my answer. I want to know what all of your answer is. Left or right? And while we're doing that, I just got to have some fun here a second. I've just wondered, just saying things that don't require what a typical prompt, like how you would normally prompt anything, would this actually work or not? So we'll see. Jason says right. Susan said play left again. We got left. We got one on the right has body language. Yeah, so the one on the right has more body language, but it felt again like a little overproduced. I'll play it just so you can see.
I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI.
Like she's just, I don't know, it's just so, it's slow. Now I could probably speed it up, but, and this was the first one.
I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI.
Like that one just seemed more like natural speaking, but that just comes down to being nitpicky. This last one I'm going to generate is just saying, Eden says, I can't believe I found Chris Luck on YouTube. Then she gets up and throws her laptop down and says, I graduated Harvard because of him. And then without trying to describe, gets up, you know, because normally a prompt to generate a video like this 2 months ago, you would need, it would have to be like 2 or 3 paragraphs long to get something to look decent. So this is me just wondering, the simpler you are and just letting AI, actually, I want to generate one like that too with the prompt enhance on, because I'm actually having her, actually, no, I'm not going to, because I can only generate one unlimited. I'm not even being charged for this. So I don't think we need, at least for the blueprint, we don't need to have a prompt template in an extra step to overproduce. It'll just overproduce the video. Okay, so again, these are just my shorthand notes, and then okay, these are just my notes for the blueprint for later. And I'm just going to argue with ChatGPT here for a second. I tested the one you recommended and it sucked, because I tested it against me literally just saying, have her say, I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. He teaches me everything I know about AI. and that prompt produce a video that looked much less overproduced than your prompt. Why is that? So whenever I don't like an output or something that AI generated or a prompt that it gave me to generate something, I tell it I don't like it, but I want it to describe to me what happened, like what went wrong, so I can at least learn a little bit more about AI so I can get better at working with it. And it says, because my prompt over directed the performance, you gave Kling a simple job. Say the sentence. So Kling focus on the dialogue and uses natural language, natural default behavior. My prompt piled on too many instructions. Do this and 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 this. Kling tried to visibly perform all those cues. It made her look like an actor following stage directions instead of a real person casually speaking. Words like warm, genuine, slightly enthusiastic, expressive eyes, softly smiles can also make AI models exaggerate the performance. That's what I was thinking when I was looking at that. And because Soul ID in the starting frame already handles her identity and appearance, repeating all the preservation instructions was unnecessary. Your test revealed the better rule. For realistic talking head videos, prompt the dialogue first and only correct specific problems after they appear. Okay, so it's let me know a simpler prompt was better. Okay, that is good. Now, what if I want her to actually be doing something along with saying something? Do I just naturally say stand up and walk to act like she's turning off the camera? Or I don't know. Like if I want her to do other stuff other than just talk to the camera, give me, you know what? Give me 10 examples of very short, simple prompts that I could use to have her do as a UGC creator that I could just test the model with. Okay. You can, I always have to, whenever I'm stopping, thinking, saying, you know what, I always have to go back and read the prompt before I send it. Okay, I did a good job. Okay, why that is working. This has not been done generating yet. So, and this is something I've noticed lately with ChatGPT. Sometimes when it says something went wrong, please try again. Chill out. Don't hit the retry button. Just wait, because it'll usually come back. Okay, so it says, yep, that's exactly the idea. Don't over describe it. Think action plus spoken line. It usually works better than trying to choreograph every little movement. So here are 10 very short test prompts you can test right now. She smiles, picks up coffee, and says, I'm so glad I found Chris Luck on YouTube. She looks at her laptop, looks back at the camera. She tucks her hair behind her ear and says, I learned so much about AI from Chris Luck. She closes her laptop and stands up and says, she takes a sip of coffee and then says, she laughs softly, shakes her head a little. She adjusts her hoodie and says, she waves at the camera. That's pretty cool. Stuff I would not have thought of. She simple action and then says, okay. If you want, I can give you 10 even better UGC style prompts specifically for coffee shop. Okay. How about give both? What about one that looks like it could be more of a viral moment where she takes a sip of coffee and then stands up. Or no, she takes a sip of coffee, throws her laptop down, stands up and turns around and yells as loud as she can. All of you should follow Chris Luck on YouTube if you want to learn how to use AI. And then everyone is turning and looking at her. What would that prompt look like? Really want to test. I'm trying to think of like, what can I do to just like really push the limit and just see what kind of crazy stuff can we have this influencer do? And then I'm going to include that in my blueprint. She takes a sip of coffee, suddenly stands up from the couch. Oh yeah, I kind of like that one. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to try to go a little crazy here and generate a 4K version of that just to see if what will happen. Okay, let's download this one that it was just very basic, like, I can't believe I found Chris Luck on YouTube. She gets up and throws her laptop down, just without being overly, prompted.
I can't believe I found Chris Luck on YouTube. I graduated Harvard because of him.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I like that one. That made me smile. And I said nothing about the phone. All I said was, Eden says, I can't believe I found Chris Luck on YouTube. And she gets up and throws her laptop down and says, I graduate. So it threw in grabbing her phone. She didn't really throw her laptop down, but that's okay. So at least you're getting an idea of what is possible. And the whole purpose of like this whole work session that I'm doing right now is testing just this consistent character and just seeing like how good is the consistent character kind of performing, in Higgsfield. And then the more AI influencer examples I'm going to do with more images and videos in future sessions, I'm going to keep using her in like different settings, different environments, different lighting and all that. And then even I'm going to try in a future one too, doing multi-shot where you can turn on multi-shot and then, I didn't know I know there was custom where you could describe like shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. I've never seen auto before. That's interesting. Huh. I wonder if here. I'm just trying to think in my head. Make that one 1080p. I've never tried a multi-shot before, so I'm just going to generate it so I know if I can talk about this one on, or if I should put this one in the blueprint or not. Yeah, that was wild. What just happened? Yeah, she could totally. Obviously, I mean, I'm just messing around. This isn't actually going to be something I'm going to post on Facebook. I'm just we could definitely get nitpicky about exactly what she should be doing, but I'm just trying to test the video model to see what the video model is capable of, so I can then talk about it more in the blueprint and then move on to more video models and all of that. We've been going on for about 2 hours. I'm probably going to go on for probably 30 more minutes and then kind of wrap it up, because I need to respond to some emails and stuff, which I don't really want to be sharing my screen on that one, just for privacy purposes. Just, let's listen to some music again. Actually, let's listen to my favorite one on the list. I take it back. That wasn't my favorite one. That was a little too. I like Moonlight Sonata, but that was not a good version. I do like Nocturne in D. Let's listen to that one. All right, let's see what Eden does here. And again, just testing out different abilities with Kling 3.0.
All of you should follow Chris Luck on YouTube if you want to learn how to use AI.
That sucked. That wasn't. I thought she was actually going to turn around and look at everybody, but she did not. However, the actual character consistency of Eden itself actually worked out really well. So I was impressed with that. But the prompt wasn't specific enough about what we had to do. So that was a fail. That's okay. This next one is going to say she stands up from the couch, turns around and shouts. So we'll see if that works or not. Oh, and this was the multi-shot, was this next one. So we'll see how the multi-shot one does. All right, multi-shot coming up. Again, could suck. I'm new to this, so I'm just trying to test things out and figure out the best prompt structure so I can include it in my blueprint. So let's see how it goes.
All of you should follow Chris Luck on YouTube if you want to learn how to use AI.
Okay, I don't know what that was. I don't know what was going on there. It did good with multi-shot, but it made up a lot of weird kind of things going on. So I like the multi-shot, how she is a consistent. What I do like about this with Higgsfield is that her is a consistent character held strong on every shot. That is awesome. However, if you want to do multi-shot, you're going to have to do custom, and you're going to have to describe all the different shots and how long you want the shots. And it looks like some of these shots could be extremely long. And I wonder if there are people out there that talk about multi-shot. Yeah, there's a decent amount. I always look in vidIQ to see what the search volume is. So it looks like clean multi-shot. So I'll have to look up some tutorials myself on like just filmmaking in general and the best way to do multi-shot and all that. And then I will probably make a tutorial on that as well. Okay, so since I am running out of time, I'm not going to run these other models right away. I will do them in future ones because I really want to see how she would perform with Grok Imagine 1.5. I feel like she would do really good on Grok Imagine 1.5. So I'm going to test all of these out. I will run the generations. So then my next work with me session, I'll probably have 7 or 8 generations to just play back to back to back to back to back. So you don't have to sit and just watch them generate. However, the last thing that was on my list today was to see how to make money doing this. So let me mark that off because that's what we're going to end on right now. And if you are interested in making money with character consistency and influencer stuff and all that, what you can do right now is you can go to a place called Fiverr. And if you just type in AI influencer on Fiverr, you're going to see there are services that people offer out here. And this is where all the stuff that I'm showing you that I'm learning, I'm not just learning, but then I'm putting blueprints together inside of AIville, teaching people exactly what to do and how to do it. And then you're seeing like how I'm coming up with the prompts and then giving you the prompts on exactly what to do. You can go into business offering this kind of stuff to people as services. Like this person right here has a service. He will create a human-like AI influencer for Instagram and OnlyFans. So the way that reviews work on Fiverr is that the only way you can leave a review is if you bought their service. So they have obviously way more orders than reviews. But if you just take baseline 208 reviews and then you look at their basic service, he will give you 12 realistic images in 3 reels. So 3 like short form videos and some realistic images. He charges you $27. If you want a standard package, where he'll do 25 images and 5 reels. He charges $63. If you want a premium package, he charges $270. So if you just took the basic package, which is $27, and if you just take that by 208 reviews, he's brought in at least $5,600 just making just basic, images on Higgsfield, and then using simple tools like this to actually animate them and then just delivering them to clients. So they wake up every day, or you could wake up every day and just have orders of people saying, like, I need an influencer, and here's all, and you can even have an onboarding form for them. So, or a client intake form. So as soon as they pay for an order, you can have like questions like, tell me about the influencer, like how, male or female or whatever, hair color, gender, or not gender. I'll just say gender, age, hair color, profession, what type of outfit or outfits. And then they will tell you everything. And then you just go take a prompt that you have, drop in their characteristics, and in less than like a minute, you could generate a whole bunch of images. As you can see, like what I did yesterday, like a whole bunch of images of anybody. And then you can turn around and then offer that as, services to people on Fiverr. And there's tons of people making tons of money doing this on Fiverr. And there's a lot of really cool ways you can stand out on here too, which I also talk about inside other videos that I've done on YouTube, and also in a lot of the blueprints inside of AIville. So that is how you can make money with this kind of stuff. So that is all I got for you today. I don't know what time I'm going to be working tomorrow, because my oldest daughter turned 16 on July 1st. She has her driver's license now in her hand, does not have a car, and we need to go take her to some car dealerships. So I am going to make some time tomorrow to go do that. So I don't know when I'm going to be going live, if I'm going live at all tomorrow, because if I go live, it's when I sit down and work, because I want to make my next batch of work with me session, or my next batch of live streams on YouTube to be work with me sessions. So what I recommend doing is, if you do like this type of content on my channel, definitely subscribe, turn on all notifications. And then when I do go live, you will get a notification that I'm going to be working. And then you can pop in, you can say hi, you can just kind of peek over my shoulder, see what I'm up to, ask questions like you saw. Like, I like to answer questions and just kind of hang out with all of you that are here in the chat. So, I really appreciate all of you taking the time to be here today on my Work With Me session. If I don't talk to you tomorrow, I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll definitely be back on Monday. I'll see you soon.